So, imagine this. A bone-chilling winter evening, driving home after a long day at the office. There were roadworks going on in my usual route home, so I decided to take another way. The roads are dead quiet, just me and the hum of my car engine. I flick on the radio, hoping for some distraction from the monotony. But here's where it gets weird. The radio starts acting up, static buzzing like crazy. No big deal, right? Just some remote location issues, I figure. Cruising down deserted back roads, I start feeling a chill, like someone's watching. Glancing at the side of the road, I catch eerie, glowing eyes staring right at me. Now, I'm not easily spooked, but that got to me. Then, the temperature inside the car nosedives. Frost forms on the windows, and whispers fill the air, soft and creepy, like forgotten tales from the past. I look in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see a ghost, but nothing's there. Still, those whispers are getting louder, weaving strange stories that mess with my head. In the middle of nowhere, a dim glow appears on the roadside. A hitchhiker. I'm not sure, but curiosity gets the best of me. The figure appears, hazy at first, but as I get closer, I see it more clearly. A silhouette, lost in the winter night. I debate picking up a stranger, especially with all this weirdness going on, but the whispers urge me to stop. Against my better judgment, I pull over, and the figure gets in. That's when things go from weird to downright spooky. The air inside the car turns icy, and the whispers become a full-blown ghostly symphony. The road ahead looks like something out of a nightmare. Shadows dancing, and the radio now tells stories of tragedies and lost souls. I can't see the hitchhiker's face, just shadows in the dim light. The stories get darker, hinting at curses and spirits tied to these desolate roads. At this point, I'm thinking, what in the world did I get myself into? I try to break the silence, ask questions, but it's like I'm talking to the wind. The radio blares with voices, and the hitchhiker's form flickers like a glitch in reality. I hit the gas, hoping to escape this bizarre trip, but the road twists and turns like a haunted maze. Then, just as suddenly as it all started, the figure disappears, leaving an empty seat. The radio goes silent, and the road straightens out, leading back to normalcy. I drive through the night, the remnants of that surreal journey fading away, but the feeling of disquiet sticks with me. Pulling into my driveway, I can't shake off the strange vibe of that winter evening. The cold air bites, and I glance back at the empty road, haunted by the ghostly confessions that played out in the depths of the night. Crazy, right? As I stepped out of the car, the echoes of the eerie whispers lingered in my mind. The following days were normal, or at least they seemed to be. Work, routine, and the mundane tasks of everyday life. But late at night, as the winter winds howled outside, I found myself drawn to the window, half expecting to see those glowing eyes in the darkness. The radio, once a source of background noise, became a haunting reminder of that night. One evening, I received an anonymous letter, cryptic, warning of forgotten tales and unseen shadows. Determined to unravel the mystery, I returned to that desolate road. The winter night was unforgiving, and the air held a palpable tension. As I neared the spot where the glow had appeared, the car's temperature dropped once again, and the whispers returned. This time, the hitchhiker didn't materialize. Instead, the shadows on the roadside seemed to dance with malevolence. The air became dense, charged with an otherworldly energy. The anonymous letter echoed in my mind as I stood at the crossroads of the known and the supernatural. The road stretched ahead, a path into the unknown. The whispers urged me forward, but fear rooted me in place. It was as if the spirits of the forgotten tales were testing my resolve, pushing the boundaries of what I believed to be real. With a mix of trepidation and curiosity, I continued down the haunted road. The shadows deepened and the winter night embraced me with an icy grip. The glow reappeared and the whispers crescendoed into a spectral chorus. As I approached, the figure materialized, not as a hitchhiker, but as a guardian of the unseen. The eyes, once glowing with an eerie light, now radiated wisdom and sorrow. The ghostly symphony transformed into a harmonious melody, telling stories of redemption and release. The road, no longer a nightmarish maze, became a passage between worlds. This was my phantomfearfile revelation, and I would love to hear yours.
So, let me lay it out for you. There's this flight I took that still gives me the creeps when I think about it. It was just your regular run-of-the-mill trip. Nothing fancy. I had a window seat and the plane was packed with the usual mix of people, all doing their own thing. Some reading, some watching movies. You know the drill. Everything seemed fine until about halfway through the flight. I noticed this guy a few rows ahead. Tall, nondescript, the kind of person you wouldn't look twice at, you know. But there was definitely something off about him, and my instincts were prickling. Call it intuition or whatever, but I couldn't shake this feeling that things were about to take a nosedive into the weird. He shifted in his seat, and for a split second, I swear his face flickered, like a glitch in a bad sci-fi movie. Now, I'm not one to jump to conclusions, but it felt like I was watching a live-action shapeshifter tutorial. His features, eyes, nose, mouth, warped, and I'm sitting there thinking, did I just see what I think I saw? And let me just tell you guys, before you assume I was probably drunk or high on medication or whatever, I 100% was not. I blinked, hoping my eyes were playing tricks on me. But then it happened again, more deliberate this time. His face twisted, morphing into a different person entirely. At this point, I'm not sure if I'm in the middle of a horror flick or a bizarre episode of What Not to Wear. My heart's doing this marathon, and I'm stealing glances like I'm not supposed to be witnessing the Matrix unraveling in real time. The guy starts changing into different people, not in a cool superhero way, but in a downright bone-chilling horror movie kind of way. It wasn't like a smooth transition either. It was this grotesque, unnatural reshaping that made my stomach turn. I'm contemplating calling over the flight attendant or pretending I'm in a deep sleep, but I can't tear my eyes away. The shapeshifter guy glances around, like he's checking if anyone else is catching on to his little secret. And then, he locks eyes with me. I swear, in that moment, I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the airplane air conditioning. He smirks, not the kind of smirk you'd give a friend, but the one that says, "I know you know." Panic starts to set in, and I'm questioning every life choice that led me to witness this supernatural circus at 30,000 feet. As the plane descends, the guy goes back to looking like a regular Joe, blending in with the rest of the passengers. People start getting up, grabbing their carry-ons, oblivious to the shape-shifting extravaganza that just unfolded. I make my way off the plane, half expecting the guy to slither out behind me like a scene from The Thing. But he's nowhere to be seen, vanished into thin air, or maybe just back to his everyday disguise. I've replayed that flight in my mind a million times, wondering if it was some elaborate prank or if I accidentally stumbled into the Twilight Zone. The whole thing felt so real, like a vivid dream that sticks with you long after you wake up. So, next time you're on a flight, keep an eye out for the guy who's a little too good at blending in. You might just be sharing the cabin with a real-life shapeshifter, and let me tell you, it's not as cool as the movies make it out to be. So this was my phantomfearfiles story, and I would love to hear yours.
So, I went to my cousin's big 30th bash in another city, and after a crazy day, I hopped on the late evening train back home. The vibe in the dimly lit cabin felt a bit off, like there was this weird stillness hanging in the air. The train was practically empty, and I plopped down in the nearest seat I could find. Right in front of me was this old lady, wrapped up in this shroud-like thing, face hiding under a wide-brimmed hat. Trying to brush off the weird vibes, I decided to snack on some treats I had in my bag. Dropped a wrapper, bent down to grab it, and when I looked up, the old lady was staring at me with eyes that felt like they were digging into my soul. Then, bam! She starts saying stuff with this spooky certainty, predicting things about me that freaked me out. She goes to me, "I know you. I know everything about you." At this moment, I felt my heart sinking into my stomach. Then she was actually spewing details about my life that she shouldn't know. I was holding on tightly to my seat, thinking, how could she know all this? The train's rhythmic clatter mixed with her creepy predictions, creating this bizarre symphony of dread. And get this, she whips out this ancient deck of cards, starts laying them out like some mystic fortune teller. Each card flip makes her predictions crazier, talking about doom and unseen forces at play. Then she drops the bomb. "Watch out for the next 7 days, your life's at risk, especially on your next train ride." I'm thinking, no way I'm hopping on a train anytime soon if she's been dead on about everything else. The air got heavy and that old doll she's cradling suddenly becomes a big deal. Glassy eyes staring into my soul, matching the intensity of her words. Her voice, a mix of haunting and prophetic, painted this picture of a future veiled in shadows. As my stop rolled around, she locks eyes with me one last time, drops some cryptic message that stuck in my head. Stepping off the train, I couldn't shake the feeling that I stumbled into something beyond our regular understanding. Like, how can she know so much about me that even my own friends or family wouldn't know? Like, a place where this old lady's predictions might actually go down just like she said. Man, that day's etched into my memory forever, and I still wonder every day who she was. So this was my Phantom Fear Files revelation, and I would love to hear yours.